already going. I'm gonna clip this part off. Finish the stream, so so that way I can get ready.
Watch now. Bro, I just got a notification that it's up.
It takes like 7 seconds, but it's gonna cut off so much in the first part that and I know the introduction's not that important, but at the same time I still want it in there. So I need to add the Burgini. Alright. Linking your channel right now. Hello to everybody in the chat. The podcast hasn't started yet, so just wait a little bit. If there's anybody watching this right now. This will get clipped off later, so yeah. There we go. It's done. It does not want to leave that, even though the stream's already updated. Alright, I think now should be a good time to start doing this. You ready?
It's over, baby.
Alright, let's go. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Hello everybody, this is NCS07 here and welcome back to another episode of the NCS and Lambocast. I am your host NCS07, but I can't do this alone, so say hi to my co-host. Well, you say hi to the viewers.
Yes. What is everybody? It's Nerfmaster 1 Lamborghini, and I'll be here to be the co-host for this podcast today.
I mean, in all seriousness, though, it's not really co-host. It's just like two people talking about stuff. So it doesn't really... There's no real actual difference between, like, a host and a co-host. Unless it's, like, a lot of people, but it's only us two for this one. So... today we're going to be doing a bit of an interesting podcast. We're not going to be doing one on video games this time, more than likely. I mean, I don't know. But today we're going to be talking about school stories. So I've got a ton of school stories in my backlog. Now some of them I have told on my second channel, NCS07 the second, if you haven't gone there. And some of these I haven't actually shared. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I'm gonna also something I should say is wait until later to like say the big ones, like the really big ones. So
okay then.
Start with something slightly mild, but still kind of spicy.
I'm not even really sure where I should even start here, because I have so many of these.
Alright, we'll do one of them.
Let's talk about this fact that I almost got detention one time. So,
oh, your school does
for a pretty
detention?
stupid reason, too. Yeah.
Mine doesn't.
What do they do instead?
In middle school they had this thing called ALC, but I don't know if that was necessarily detention. They sure as hell, from what I know, don't have it in high school. Like, I believe in high school they just suspend you. Also, by the way, I actually get tomorrow and Friday I get virtual days, so that's dope. Because then I can just play video games. Work on schoolwork. But anyways, sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
So, this is basically the library is also nicknamed the media center at my school, because of just all the crazy stuff they have down there. Right now, it's been converted to a lunchroom because of COVID, but you know, before COVID, everything it was the media center, which will probably go back to being whenever COVID is done. But regardless of COVID, so people had some paper airplanes down there, and one of them landed next to me, and I knew who it was, like whose it was, and Dude, as I'm telling the story, some guy says, "Watch out." Nice. Yeah. So I knew who it was that threw the airplane at me, so I threw it back to him, and because I threw a paper airplane, I almost got detention because they removed me from the media center because I threw one paper airplane back to somebody, and then I go
What?
back to my teacher, like, and apparently if you get sent back, like for that teacher, apparently, if you were to get sent back from the media center, it's an automatic detention. Now, fortunately, the media center guy, the one who pretty much kicked me out of there for that, told her not to give me a detention because I'd already been punished enough and everything, but like, it was still kind of ridiculous. Like,
Oh,
over a
hold
paper
on.
airplane, come on, dude.
Continue.
Like, that's really the end of the story right there. I almost got detention over a fucking paper airplane.
Alright. Alright, I'm back. Sorry to take sarcasm. So, almost got detention because of a paper airplane.
Yeah.
That's stupid, especially given you weren't even the one to throw it. Actually, real quickly, I'm gonna make sure it's working.
Well, I did throw it back to somebody, but it wasn't the original person that even made it.
Okay, my voice is still going through. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know, but yeah, that's stupid though. I don't. At least you didn't get detention though, because if you got in actual trouble, then that'd be another situation. Like, you don't deserve that. But not very good start to the discussion. And before I get into my story, I want to just elaborate on something that I touched on in the previous two episodes. Last episode, I was whining a bunch about not having a PS5, and now I've had one for over 2 weeks. So, isn't that just awesome? Also, Puyo Puyo Tetris
Huge
2
flex
is amazing. Get that game if you can. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 is amazing. But anyways, oh god, what story should I tell? Okay, I'll tell you this. I'll tell you a story from elementary school, and this is the time I threw up in front of my class. Okay, so it was 4th grade, and it was early in the morning, and I don't know if your school did this or not, but our school, early in the morning, we would go out of the classroom momentarily to grab our milk cartons, because it was kind of like a morning, like, drink and whatnot for, like, us students to keep us hydrated. One morning, and it was like breakfast time, before I was even at school, I don't know how, it just felt a little weird, you know? You know that weird feeling in your stomach you sometimes get?
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't think much of it because it went away, like, quickly afterwards. And then I went to school, and then we were going out of the classroom to go get the milk cartons. And, then, like, the moment I grabbed my milk carton, I gag. Like, a bad gag. Like, something was gonna come out. And then I run into the classroom, and I'm just like, teacher, and then, and like, and mind you, I'm in, like, I'd say the middle of the classroom, and then I just start ralphing everywhere. Oh my god. Like, I don't actually
Bro,
remember
what
it,
even
like,
actually happened, though?
what?
Like, what made you throw up?
I'm not sure. I just woke up. Maybe I ate something at breakfast that wasn't good for me. I'm not sure, but I just
You got food
started
poisoning
throwing
or
up
something?
everywhere. I know for a fact that I threw up on one kid's desk, almost completely. Oh god. But honestly though, that part is kind of a blur. The next thing I remember though is being at the sink and just like ralphing in there. And man, I feel not only like sick to my stomach, but also embarrassed as well because I couldn't have just done that crap in a trash can. Like, I had to do that. I just had to do it everywhere. But yeah. Yeah, that's the story.
That's the story. Oh god. Okay, then, well.
That's honestly probably one of my most tame stories, honestly, out of all of these. I've got. But
If that's your tame story, what the hell is your crazy one?
we
Man.
school like our school has some weird stuff sometimes, especially
Yeah.
middle school. But anyways, your next story.
Not much of a story, but rather just something I've been recently doing. So, you know how whenever I first joined this party, I was like playing the hardcore song.
Yeah.
I listened to those in school because my teacher gave me a pair of headphones there I could use at the school so I can like watch the school videos and everything. But I'll use them a lot for like listening to music. And I'm listening to that in shop class. And I'm just sitting there headbanging to my freaking hardcore because, well, it's hardcore music and the beats are crazy. But, yeah. Some girls noticed that I was headbanging so hard, and I look at them, and I just start fist pumping because that's what DJs do. And they start doing it with me. And so I unplug my headphones and play the music and start like, just basically being a DJ. And I've been doing that with them. No.
Oh my
I've
god.
just been playing this hardcore and just being a straight up freaking DJ.
Oh my god.
It's so fun. It's actually really fun.
Dude, that's like this one time in chemistry class. We were in the lab and they were playing like good music and I just start bopping my head to the beat and one of the other kids from like across the lab stations is just like, damn, Tyler getting it down. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh man. Damn, Tyler getting it down.
But what about your story though?
That was the story. I've been just started recently doing that stuff.
All right. Well,
And, today I probably went the craziest I did with my freaking hand motions. I can't show it on stream because, like, obviously there's no camera or anything for this. But like, if there was, I'd totally show you.
Yeah. Oh my god. All right. I'm gonna tell you this next.
The beat was just going.
Yeah.
And I'm just like going crazy.
That's awesome. All right. Now I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm okay. So this happened in my sophomore year in my health class. Now I don't know if have you taken health yet?
I've taken health a couple different times.
Oh, then do you do these things in health class where you do like a meditation? Where you just like close your eyes for like 10 minutes?
No.
So in my health class, I think it was like every Monday, or honestly I don't remember, maybe it was every Tuesday. My psychology class, we do them on Mondays, but one time we're doing this like meditation. And keep in mind, everything is quiet. The only thing you can really hear is the like nature sounds coming out of the like smart board thingy, and like nothing's happening. Like nothing's really happening. Like I think I've got my eyes maybe like half open. The like room is quiet. The room is dark, and then just out of nowhere, my health teacher catches one of the students. I think it might have legitimately been the student behind me. He was caught with a vape cartridge in his hand.
What the hell?
I don't get it myself. And she freaked out. She was just like, what are you doing? You shouldn't have that in here. Get out of the room now. Oh my god. Dude, and the thing about it was that it was so out of nowhere. Like, I had no... Like, I didn't even know what was going on. Like, at first. Like, I didn't even know it was a vape cartridge. I thought it, like... And it didn't seem like they were doing anything wrong. And then, like, man, she was pissed. Rightfully. And then after a while, like, once... I don't know what necessarily happened, but... After a while, like, they leave the room, and then she comes back eventually, and she's just like... don't do cartridges and like vape cartridges, all right? And then like we kind of just resumed the day without much of without a hunch.
Just go back to normal after that happens. Great.
I will admit though that I'll say this though, the kid that had the vape cartridge, he's an I'll just say right now he wasn't necessarily the best student ever. I'll be honest, he was a punk. I actually seen him at the skateboarding, like a skateboarding place before a couple times.
Yeah.
I guess that explains it. No disrespect, no disrespect. But this dude was kind of suspect, and like that was sophomore year. But I think after that, I don't think I saw him ever again. Like he was still in class for a couple times, but I think after my sophomore year ended, and like going into my junior year onwards, I never saw him again. So I'm confident that he got expelled. And I thought he just got like I thought he just got suspended, but I don't know. Either that or he moved somewhere else, but probably I don't know. And this right here, viewers, is the reason you should not do drugs. It does not end well.
Not in school in a class that's literally, especially not in school in a class that's literally against drugs completely.
That's the funny thing about it is that it's literally
a class. Yeah, it's literally a class that's dedicated to making sure you don't do drugs in your life.
I don't think that they were doing it during our like drug unit or anything like that. They did it during the drug unit. Oh my lord, that's ironic. That's funny in a sense.
Funny.
Well, I mean, doing drugs is not funny. Don't do it. Nothing good comes out of it. But
please don't do drugs, people. But like,
honestly, but honestly though, again though, like I said, this dude was kind of suspect. The people that do drugs are usually not very good people. I'll just say. Like some are cool. Most of them aren't. If I'm gonna be completely honest, they're not very good people. But I've dwelled on that long enough. So yeah, that's how one kid got busted with a vape cartridge. And I don't think people really ever like did drugs or much else in that school because I never really saw it any other times. So I don't know, but with that story out of the way, you tell us another fabulous story.
Another fabulous story. What story would I even tell? There's so many stories I can actually tell right now.
Just tell one of them.
Oh. So, I know the viewers don't really know about this, but, Tyler, do you remember those, like, really annoying girls that I told you about?
Yeah, the ones that kind of tried to get in your way when you were driving down the hallway?
Pretty much, yeah. So...
Explain it to them, please.
So, I'm a little weird in a way. You know, you guys think that having an entire channel about cars is obsessed with cars. You've seen nothing from me yet. Let's just say that much for right now. But yeah, I pretty much just drive hypercars down the highway I'm driving down the highway right now, so like. In the game, obviously, but like I'm driving down the highway at like 260 miles an hour, so I have that like embedded in my mind right now. But yeah, so I'll drive cars like down the hallway. I'll just go like that. So I'm doing that, and I'm just running. Like I'm in a full-on sprint mode, and these really annoying girls that like to try to get in my way are there, and they don't even know that I'm coming there because they're like too engaged in their conversation. I whip past them, and I just hear one scream. I just hear one scream at the top of their lungs as I whip past them.
Wow, like almost a real hit and run.
Oh my god! No!
Oh god.
Oh,
but then what?
After that, okay, so later in the day, it's after shop class, one of them, Haley, tried to pretty much block me, and I just pushed her down the hallway. She didn't sit. Like, I didn't care. She was standing right in the way, and so I just keep moving forward. She's still there being pushed along, just being pushed along, and she's still blocking the way. Like, bitch, get out of the way. Bitch, get out of the way. She's still there, so I'm like, okay, I'll just keep going. She's like really gonna push a girl. I'm like, fuck you. Just.
If you're gonna get in the way, then like, of course your people are gonna push you out of the way.
Yeah, and eventually she did move out of the way, and so I just drove off and flipped her off as I did so.
Oh, just like real drivers.
Welcome
I don't
to
do
America.
that. I don't do that. Yet.
Yes.
Every driver in the world at one point has flipped someone else off from bad driving. It's gonna happen to everyone. Like, whether you know it or not, you're gonna do it eventually out of rage. Or someone's gonna just be a real meanie head. Now don't
Bro,
do
you
it,
sounded
but
so much like Sayori right there with a meanie head. It just sounds so.
sorry to
much like
interrupt,
that
but
Sayori would say.
continue on with your story. Unless there's
Oh man, what else is there even to say about them? Like, these girls just get annoying sometimes, but like, oh, so because of COVID, I guess they got like their classes switched before, and they were right behind me in my homeroom, and the whole time I'm just sitting there listening to my hardcore, I'm just look behind me, I just see them there, like, kill me, just kill me, please, just take a gun, end my life. I'm sick of these shita, you know, just sick of this shit. And just look behind me and just see them there, and they're like, okay, stop with the Russian accent bullshit. But like, honestly, man, I look behind me and I just like my face is probably ghost white.
Jeez, after enough time, I thought you would have gotten used to it.
After enough time, yeah, there's never enough time.
Whatever.
Fortunately, though, they didn't really pull anything whenever they were sitting behind me.
Yeah.
But shop class, on the other hand, oh man. Now, sadly, Kira, the other girl, wasn't actually in shop class with Haley, but some of them were there, and they were just a little weird. Now, they have somewhat changed since this. Like, they're not nearly as annoying and bitchy as they used to be, but god damn, like, they were just really annoying.
Yeah.
Always, like there's this really small girl. You could literally call this girl a lolly, honestly. Like, she is that small, but she literally is, like, older than me. So, yeah, she's like 2 times smaller than I am, but yet she's, like, a couple years older than me. And they always just, like, were, like, shipping me and her.
Yeah.
I mean, that was more of the boys doing that, but they also got in the action as well. I was just like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
A lot.
But that's where the story kind of ends, because they haven't done anything stupid since then.
Yeah. I've definitely dealt with stupidity before. Oh boy. Alright, so with that out of the way, now one of my stories, and this is going to be one of the 2 stories that I share about being just the worst human beings towards substitute teachers. Now, you know how it works when there's a sub. People don't give any real respect towards them, right? They take advantage of them. They try to pull mischievous stuff. Yeah. Well, there were actually 2 times, but they're so similar that I just lump them together. In 6th grade, okay, so the first one happened in my social studies class. So I don't actually remember a lot about this day because I'm trying to forget middle school was a thing that happened in my life. That place was a zoo, just to say the least. It was a zoo. Dude, I'll talk about that later, but one day we just have a sub in my social studies class, and I honestly don't remember a lot about it because I don't remember a lot, but I don't remember it being super bad. Now, of course, I've had much worse experiences of that, and yes, I will tell them later, but I don't really remember us doing anything really that bad. Like, but it wasn't anything like really bad at all. Then come the
Okay.
next day. Now, something I should mention about my social studies teacher is that my social studies teacher was kind of a douchebag. If I'm gonna be completely honest, she was kind of a douche. She kind of got mad at just some of the dumbest stuff sometimes. Like, I don't know. She was crabby. One time, I was answering like a couple questions on the board. Like she was asking a few questions and I was answering some of them. And like no one else is really volunteering. And then she literally calls me her pet. I'm the teacher's pet.
Bruh, what the hell?
Dude, and she said that right in front of my, at that time, crush. Because there was a girl that I really liked that was in that class. And for this douche to say that, oh man. Honestly though, a lot of my friends though don't like her either though. But getting back to the story, the next day we're going into social studies and she is just bitter when we go in there. Like, I'll be honest, she always had that look of kind of bitter, but there was something a little different about it this time. And then the bell rings, she closes the door, and then she just starts going off on us. And she, she wasn't cursing or anything, but she was just like, "You kids embarrass me so much. That sub was like my colleague, or I don't remember exactly what position it was, but it's like, you embarrass me forever, you stupid little idiot." I'm trying not to curse, but she just is yelling at us. And like, I'll be honest, I'd say from that point onward, I really didn't like her. Like, I didn't like her beforehand that much, but then I was kind of just like, are you serious? Like, we didn't really do that much wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And then another time, in that same year, in science class, it might have been around the same time, we had a sub in science, and we were going to take a quiz that day, but people kept talking during the quiz. Then the next day, my science teacher comes back. She spent the whole hour just talking to us about respect and just lecturing us.
Bruh.
And this is not the only time this has happened. There have been other times where teachers would lecture for a long period of time. Actually, I'll talk about one right now. This will be the last one I tell, and then you can go. 7th grade social studies. And we have this sub who didn't really do anything. He didn't really do anything. But one of the girls, I don't know what actually happened, but one of the girls, she got really upset at this guy. I guess this guy was harassing her, and she just like goes off on him and is just like, "Stop touching me! You're so annoying! I'm done dealing with this bull bleep." And then she's just like, and then right before she slams the door, she's just like, "F you." Like, she screams it and then just storms off while slamming the door shut hard.
Jesus.
But now the thing is though, is that I know this girl and I've actually talked to her before. I haven't talked to her in a long time, since like 7th grade, but she's cool. She doesn't normally act like that. I think what happened was the guy was annoying her, and I guess she felt the only real way she could really deal with the situation was to basically verbally lash out, I guess. And then everyone's just blabbing over and over, and the sub, he kind of is trying to say stuff like, quiet down and whatnot. But it's like nobody even gave a crap because he really didn't have any like bass in his voice at all. And like I'll be honest, from what I remember, he didn't really do anything at all. He really just sat there and read while we basically screwed around. So in actuality, it's his fault for being the bad teacher, right?
I can see that. I can see that argument being used.
Well, come the next day, and I need to use more vocab, but the next day, oh man, oh I've this may have been the worst I've seen a teacher freak out ever, like probably ever, the worst I've seen a teacher freak out. We go into class, the bell rings, and then she has this long document on the smartboard, and she's just like, "What is this? Explain to me what is this?" And I answer, "It's a document." Okay, I don't say it like that. I don't say it like that, but you know what I mean. And like that stuff, like it's a long document. She just starts yelling at us, and she lectures us the whole like time. And like now that when I really think about it, I just kind of am like, so he's not gonna do anything like he's not really gonna try at all. Like yeah, he said, "Hey, quiet down" and whatnot, but he said it was so little bass in his voice, and it's like, who's gonna listen to that? It's like he didn't really do a good job at all. He just sat and just read. But then it's like all of a sudden, like I don't know, and then he just writes this long document, and then like she just gets so mad. I will be honest though. My 7th grade social studies class was full of a lot of troublemakers. Like not necessarily troublemakers in the sense of like, oh, they were like bad kids. They just kept talking while the teacher was, which is a very big problem with the schools I've gone to. But I think I've hampered on that long enough. So you go, Nerf Master. I think it's been long enough. In fact, more than long enough. So you go.
Alright, so, this is actually not my own story, but, it's actually my good friend ATDCC Colby's, stories. He told me about the situation happened, and it actually was really interesting to me. So, talk about something petty. So, Colby would often go and get people's backpacks for them whenever school ends. So, one day he actually didn't get this other dude's backpack, and for I think actually a couple of years or something like that, possibly years.
Wow.
This dude was basically harassing Colby for it because of a backpack.
Wow. But why didn't he find the backpack though?
Why didn't he what?
Why did it take so long for him to find the backpack though?
Not to find the backpack. He probably actually got the backpack himself, but it was just the fact that he didn't want to go get the backpack, I guess, and he wanted Colby to do it, but Colby couldn't do it. So he started harassing Colby for years, I guess.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's stupid. Wow.
Right?
Wow. Is that the whole story?
Pretty much, like...
Tell another story, because it barely balances out to how long mine was.
God damn it.
So tell another story. Tell a more messed up one.
A more messed up one. What messed up stories do I have? Oh. Let's talk about what recently happened. So, recently a girl in my school got the virus. She got the COVID. And like she tested positive for it. And this is a girl that I sit next to in some of my classes. And so I was recently put on quarantine for 10 days. And so probably about like 4 days go by. And then my grandfather comes down here, and usually he'll leave whenever I go virtual, but he's not leaving, so I'm like, what are you doing? I go out there and ask him what he's doing. He says, I'm taking you to school. I'm like, wait, what the hell? And so he says that today I'm supposed to go back. Like, dude, it's not been 10 days. I was told to go on quarantine for 10 days, and it has not been 10 days. And so my mom calls the school, and they say I can still come back, even though it's only been 4 days. Like, what the fuck, man?
Wow. But yeah, apparently a few people in my school were exposed to COVID, I believe. I don't completely know. It happened just earlier today. And and then that's why we're staying home for like the next 2 days. But we still have to do virtual class.
2 days. Bro, 2 days.
Well, it's Thursday and Friday, and then they think Monday things will get better. Or at least they'll give us more details on Friday.
Okay.
But yeah, that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure if I got the days wrong or something. But,
When do you have to go back?
I'm already going back, like... I've
Oh,
already
you're
been
already going back.
God damn it. But I've already... Holy shit. I've already been going back the past couple of days.
Oh, I see. Alright. So that's that story, I presume. Stick to that wall.
Yeah!
Alrighty.
Wall.
I was webbing a guy to a wall. A fat guy to a wall, but...
Oh.
Alright. Okay, I need to talk about my middle school graduation.
Oh.
Now, have I told you...
No.
Oh, this is gonna be... this is gonna be funny. Okay, so... Graduate, like, it's the day, like, we have a normal school day, and then it's just, like, kind of normal, like, and then we have later that evening, like, graduation. Then, so, the day starts going pretty normally, and, like, everything's going fine. Like, we have shortened classes and whatnot. Like, nothing bad is really happening, and eventually I get to my health class at that point in time. And there was this girl that I had a crush on. Like, she was cute, and I wanted to have her sign my yearbook. Now, I didn't ever talk to this girl before. I don't know her very well, and she doesn't even know me. So I want that to sink. So I just want that to sink in. But we eventually go to the computer lab, and I didn't sit next to her or anywhere near her. But when we start walking to the computer lab for some reason, and I make sure to sit at the computer next to hers, and then the bell's about to ring, and like she's still on the computer. I think we were doing like a survey for something like that for the class, and she was still doing the survey, and then like the bell rings, and she's still doing it. So, and then I just ask her, can you sign my yearbook? And she's like, sure. And then I sign hers, and then I leave, feeling really good about myself.
Okay.
And then I feel even better about the fact that I got her signature, because not even like, I wouldn't even say an hour and a half later, they eventually bring, like, there were rumors going around, but then we go into the PAC at my school, which is like this big auditorium thing, and they start yelling at us because apparently some of the students were drawing penis pics in some of the yearbooks. You know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't think it was many kids, but for some reason they put all of us in that auditorium and they just yelled at us one last time. And like at the time it wasn't good because I don't really like getting yelled at, but like now when I look back on it, it's the funniest thing ever because it's like the best way they could have ended middle school. Like, our middle school teachers and staff didn't really like our grade that much, even though we were far from awful. But then they just need to yell at us one more time for existing. So that's a little funny. And honestly, the rest of the day just felt so eh. And eventually, once graduation comes around, then we're just, and then, like, I didn't even want to stick around for graduation because I hated middle school. And I just left, like, 5 minutes after it ended and, like, the dance started.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was my middle school graduation. Honestly, at the time, it wasn't very good. But now when I look back on it, it's like the most ironically funny way that middle school could have ended. It's funny now. But yeah, that was my middle school
Okay.
graduation. So
Hmm.
now's your go.
School stories that are just beyond crazy. I'm trying to think here. Ah! What was it? I'm trying to think here.
You want me to just tell a story in the meantime while you think for one?
Sure.
All right. Well, then I'll tell the probably the worst substitute experience that I've ever had. Oh God. Okay, so this is sophomore year, and it's English 2. Now, I just want to say right now, my English 2 class, first term was horrifically awful. Like, horrifyingly bad. Like, there were a lot of kids in that class that were very loud and rowdy. Oh, man. It was not a good class, to say the least. But term 2 was actually one of the best classes I had for in terms of English 2. But getting back on point, one day we have a sub, and like this day is just a disaster. Just a disaster. Like I told you before just before about how like kids don't really respect the subs. There was so much disrespect that day, like I can't even explain. Everyone was like on like much rowdier than usual, and like this sub was kind of just like, can you like quiet down and stuff like that? And like the kids are just like, no, we ain't doing that. Like we're doing what I want. And then like sometime later, like the kids are like some of the kids are just being like, we're gonna jump him after school. Like what car you got? Because we'll jump you after school. It was just bad.
What the hell, man?
Dude, those kids were some of the biggest douches ever. Like, I don't legitimately understand it at all. Like, it was just horrifying what was going on in that class. Like, Jesus. But that happened, and then, and then the next day, dude, I'm nervous to go to class because the way things happened, I'm honestly expecting an anus boot whipping. Like, no joke.
Yeah?
And then we get to class. Dude, my English, dude, like, the teacher, she was so bitter. Man. Like, she didn't even yell or scream at us at all. She was just bitter as hell at us. And she was just, like, and, like, she grouped, like, 4 kids together that were pretty much orchestrating all of the conundrums. And she starts giving us the same kind of lecture that I've heard a million times. But it's like, she didn't scream or yell at all. Like, she was really bitter. I'm gonna be honest, if there wasn't a rule, if there wasn't a rule that involved, like, teachers touching students, I think she would have beaten our anuses. Like, I think she would have beat us, if I'm going to be completely honest. She certainly seemed like she wanted to, because, like, she said she even had to go to the office. Like, it was just that bad. Dude, I think she would have beaten us if there wasn't a rule that was against that.
Yeah?
And, yeah, that was that might be the worst school experience that I've experienced myself.
Okay. let's talk about the worst math website I've ever seen a school use.
Oh no.
So,
Is it Desmos?
no,
Okay.
worse. So, actually, Desmos isn't actually too bad, honestly, with their calculator.
I hate
like that.
Desmos. Trying to do like the exponent problems on there. Oh, it's awful. There's no text box function. But
Right.
carry on.
I just really like the calculator on there, but yeah. So this website is what is known as IXL. By far one of the most horrifically bad sites I've ever seen. There's also an app for this thing, which I'm amazed they even had the funding to do so. But yeah. So how the app would work is basically there's a score on top, and you have to get a certain amount of questions right, and then you can actually master the skill, because that's what each one, there's like different things you can do, and those would be skills pretty much. So Mr. Farkas, our math teacher, would basically make us get a certain score, usually like an 80 or 70, something like that on the IXL thing. But here's the problem with that though. He offered help with it, but if you actually go up to ask him for help with a problem, he'll show you what to do, but then he'll get it wrong, which in turn lower your score, because he said he was like required to get the thing wrong because you asked for help and everything, but like, dude, I can see right through you. You and me both know that that's horseshit, alright? You don't offer me a help, sir. You don't offer me help and then just get the question wrong. That completely defeats the purpose of asking for help. But like, dude, this app, if you actually get a question wrong, it will try to explain to you what you did wrong, but it did it really bad. But now, we have IXL Mark II. This is what is known as Get More Math, or GMM, which is something I'm absolutely despising from day one. Unlike IXL, that actually made some kind of effort to let you know what you did wrong, no, this thing can't even say that. It is that pathetic. Like, and what's really sad about it is the fact that, like, if, like, you can just, like, there's a bunch of, like, dollar signs, which are different math problems, which are basically the ones that will give you points. So, like, because not all of them there are worth a point. The ones that have the dollar sign symbol on the note, they're worth points, okay? So, if you want to do a different one, you just select them, but then there will be a little yellow line that appears on the one you just went away from, and once you get the question that you're on, that you want to now write, it puts you back onto that one. You go into a different one 4 times, it will lock you on the problem that you're skipping.
Wow.
So it's like, why would you lock me on that, especially if it's like a skill I don't understand? Like, why would somebody skip a problem other than the fact that they don't understand that? Why lock them on something that they don't understand? Makes no sense whatsoever.
It's stupid.
For real,
I've had bad experiences with some websites too, but I don't really remember a website that was like super bad. Well, actually, okay, well, is that the end of your story?
pretty much.
Okay, well, this isn't exactly related to your story, but this is similar-ish. It's this thing we would use during gym class. Bro, I don't know why they did it for all of these years. Ever since 7th grade, all the way to 11th grade, my school, and they probably still do it, they use this heart rate strap called Polar, and it's supposed to measure your heart rate. And essentially what it is that there's certain zones, like there's a blue, green, orange, red, I believe. And essentially, if you were either in green, orange, or red, then you were getting time, like you were working out enough to add time to like your score. So essentially we would do stuff like a 20-minute jog, and like you would have to essentially get 20 minutes on the like clock thing on there because you'd have to get in the green and orange and red zones by doing enough work. The problem is that these things were so awfully designed that there were many times. This didn't really happen nearly as much in high school, but in middle school, oh my god, it was so bad. Like like these things worked horribly. Well, actually, they worked horribly throughout, but I'll get to the one thing later. They just barely ever worked right. Like I swear, they would almost always put me in blue. I don't know why. Sometimes it would just never connect at all. Like no matter what, I keep readjusting it. I keep readjusting like the heart rate strap's location and all this crap. And I just can't get it sometimes. And now this wouldn't honestly be the worst thing in the world. Jesus, no, Robbie. Now this wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but here's the kicker. If you wanted, what essentially would happen was that we would be graded for the stuff. We'd be graded on how much time we got on there. And given how faulty these things were, and given that if we said anything, they basically would just be like, they work fine, you're just not doing it right. Then you can't really do much about it, and you'd have to just take the stupid F like I have multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute stupidity.
Yeah, like, dude. I can say the same thing about the thermometers that they're using in my school right now to like test people if they have COVID. Like these things just, for some reason, like I've seen them like show temperatures that are below the average human body temperature. Like they are so faulty, and they expect that to like register as somebody is like over temperature. Boy, you need to get that out of here.
Do they do that before, like when you go into school?
Yeah, and they don't really work.
That's probably because people are outside with the cold temperature.
No. Whenever you go to your homeroom, once you actually get to your homeroom, that's when they temperature you.
Oh. Even so. Still sounds faulty as hell,
still
though,
have something to do
regardless.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think let's do one more story from the both of us.
Alright, you go.
And then we can get into a slightly different discussion for the last part of the video.
Yeah.
So, lay it on us.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go.
No, you're going. I'm ending that part of the discussion. Go. With preferably something very extreme.
Something very extreme. I once was one of the biggest troublemakers in my entire school. This was back in elementary, and I'll be honest, looking at my old me was a piece of shit. Like,
well,
old me
what
was
would you
a
do?
real piece of shit. So, like, there's been times, and like, I'd actually attacked people before in elementary school, ran from teachers, done crazy stuff, man. Like,
wow!
I was an asshole in elementary school. And
well, now that explains everything. I'm kidding. Oh, don't take me seriously on that, please.
I wish you could see just how much of a death stare I'm giving this stream right now. But like, you see though.
Dude, I got a similar type of comparison that I'll tell you later.
Okay, but so it literally got to the point where the teachers couldn't do anything. They literally had to hire a girl and one of the students to chase me around just to get me to like come back and actually have some kind of conversation with the teachers. It was actually kind of funny now that I look back at it.
Jesus Christ.
They couldn't keep up with me. I was too fast for the teachers. I literally would run from them and they couldn't catch me because they were old and they can't catch up with me. But like so there's all these like playground things too. But yeah, I was just crazy back in those days. But that's not even the story. The story here is how we found a fucking bird that was pretty injured there. And then we had a couple of different bird stories. So, the first bird story we had, where I was back in elementary school, a bird was just found, like, pretty injured in the, you know that, like, big round, like, dome thing that people climb?
Yeah. The jungle gym?
Basically, in the center, pretty much, yeah, that. In the center of that, there was a bird that was really injured, and a lot of people had touched it, and so we had to hand sanitize ourselves. But that's nothing compared to what happened recently. That's nothing compared to what happened recently in not middle, high
God.
school. So, that was actually this year. So, me and Miss Tanya are casually outside taking a mask break, okay? We're in the courtyard next to the media center, and this bird just flies right into the media center window and smashes his face on it. So, we're like, okay, wow, that was great. And so we're just looking at this bird, making sure it's okay, and then the bird starts taking off because it's scared of us. And I found a piece of, I found this plastic bag, and so I tried to pick up the bird with a plastic bag. And all the middle schoolers leave the door open to the school because they're outside doing an outdoor classroom. And you can probably see where this is going. I try to pick this thing up with a plastic bag. It flies into the school, and Miss Tanya has to go chase the bird.
Oh, God. Do they have to put the school in lockdown?
No, it was just a bird, but, Miss Tanya was able to get it out with her mask. She got her mask out of her pocket and used that to get the freaking bird out of the school. But,
God damn, that bird was all about the thug life. Jeez.
You think? That was crazy bird, man.
Jesus.
And they're installing all these security systems and everything to prevent a school shooting. They should be installing anti-bird locks.
Yeah. Damn. So that's that then?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, so for my last story, I'm gonna talk about the first and probably one of the worst fights I've ever seen in my life. Okay, so this is high school, and this is during lunchtime, my freshman year. Me and one of my homies, we're just playing games on my Switch, multiplayer wise. So we're playing games on Switch, and it's one of these days. And then, I kind of look up from the game that we're playing, and I noticed that a good majority of people, they're looking our way. So then, I turn around and face the way I was facing normally, where I was sitting. And literally, 2 tables in front of us, and keep in mind, there was nobody in the table in front of us. So, actually there was only 1 table in front of us. And that table was completely empty, and no one was sitting from across from us. Tell me why I see these 2 girls just cat-fighting each other. Dude, I don't know whether or not they were trying to fight, because, they were, screaming, and, they're throwing their fist down. They're not throwing their fists, straight at them like you normally would. They were, throwing them down like they were hammers. And, they're just fighting. It's a cat fight in there. And the whole school is just going, they're acting like this is a real world star fight. and I'm just oh my God. I've never seen a fight like this. I've never seen a fight in real life before like that. A genuine one. And my homie, he's just trying to, get back to the game. And I'm just shut the F up. These girls are fighting each other in the worst way possible. They're not even trying to hit each other. No punches to the face, just throwing their fists down. You can't see me right now, but I'm throwing my fist down. Dude, everyone just gets riled up after that, like, and the teachers pull them apart, and jeez, it was just funny. Man, they were just awful at fighting. But, yeah. But honestly, not many fights have happened at my school. One other fight did happen, but I wasn't able to see it, unfortunately. But man, I got the front row seats for like the best cat fight of the year.
I've seen some fights at my place too, my school.
Yeah, but that's kind of a normal thing. But man, that had to be one of the funniest things ever. Not really normal since it usually happens like a few times a year. But yeah, that was that story. And I've also told that on my second channel as well. But with that out of the way, those were some of our school stories. But we're not done with this podcast yet, as we've got kind of a bit of a mini discussion / mini rant. Because since we're on the topic, I think we may as well talk about the things we don't like about school.
Oh, hell yeah.
And I'll let you start. I'll let you start.
Now, for those who don't know, just going to do a little shameless plug here since NCS did it already. Like, he did one already, so might as well return the favor. I have a series on my channel where actually it's called The American School System is Awful. And, consider this a little preview for you all if you guys want to go check that out, because I'm planning on making another episode regarding this. So, the overall school system is a failure of a system, okay? I think that's pretty clear. You know that you have failed as a school system if it takes less than 3 months of summer for me to forget everything that I have learned in school.
It takes you just less than 3 months. It takes me like 5 hours.
No, but I'm talking like everything, like every little thing, okay?
Yeah.
Not everything for like the day, everything for the entire year in 3 months.
Oh, that's what I mean. I forget everything in the entire year in like 5 hours. Once they take those exams, then it's like that's all that's gone. And yeah, it's not very good, especially when they make you try to remember, then they expect you to remember it.
Exactly, like, let's talk about the worst thing, in my opinion, though, and that is the homework, okay? Are you ready for me to beat the shit out of the school system, Tyler?
Go for it.
Because I'm ready to beat the shit out of this thing.
It's your field day, man. Go for it.
It's my lucky day. So, let me get this straight, people. You are gonna wake me up, okay? You're gonna wake my big fucking fat ass up at 7 o'clock in the morning, okay? You're gonna make me wake up at 7 in the morning whenever I go to bed at, like 3 a.m. now? So,
Jesus Christ.
Already sleep deprived, okay? Already depriving me of my sleep. You're gonna give me the most boring and basic ass work of all time, because not only are you forced to because of COVID, ha 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 ha, but also you're just an asshole school system. So yeah, just let's continue here before I start really getting ranty. So after 8 hours a day of that, okay, already sleep deprived. But you're gonna keep me for 8 hours, okay? You're gonna have the sheer audacity to keep me for 8 fucking hours, okay?
I mean, hey, it's your fault for staying up so damn late playing GTA all the time. It's your fault for that. But still, school days being 8 hours long is 100% BS. Why do they have to be so damn long?
I don't know.
I just realized my voice is starting to go away. But continue.
But let's continue. So, after you keep me for those 8 hours a day work of all time, that will never help me anywhere in my actual life, you expect me to go back to my home where you wake me up from and do even more of your shit. Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, most of the time it doesn't help you either.
They say that too. They say that like it will help you. They say it's like a
No, it
practice
doesn't.
thing.
It does not help you at all. It just wastes your time. That's all it does.
Let's be honest here. You're gonna be more focused at home, more focused on getting it done than actually putting the
Trying.
right answers down.
You're going to be
Because
focused on
that's
actually
the
getting
thing.
it done rather than trying.
Exactly. Like, think about that for a second. Also, if it was a practice thing, it would be fucking optional. It's a goddamn grade, okay? It's a grade. Grades are not optional, people. Grades are not optional.
Well, they
And
are optional
the
in
things
middle
that they'll-
school.
Yeah.
Unless you really screw yourself over. But otherwise, middle school you can kind of just do whatever. But man, I'll save what I was about to say for later because continue with the homework, and then I'll launch in with my own complaint.
Okay. So, like, seriously though, let's be honest here. Like I said before, you're gonna be a lot more focused at home on getting it done than actually putting down the right answers. Take it from someone who's done it for 10 years by now. Okay? It just gets ridiculous after a while, you know? It gets very ridiculous after a while. And I cannot tell you how many times I have already almost fallen asleep in class because they're that boring.
Oh man,
then,
we were talking about the sleep cycle yesterday in psychology, and I was starting to feel drowsy.
Oh.
No joke. Not joking.
And that's actually, no joke, that's actually funny as hell. But, like, dude, honestly, you'll just, like, hear, oh, look at this equation. What's the square root of this?
and teachers wonder why students sleep so much during the day and they're so tired. Because you're waking us up so early. Which, I'll get into that rant later. You continue, please.
Yeah, like, literally, I went to bed last night at, like, what, like midnight or something like that? Way earlier than I usually do. Okay? I was still tired as hell today. Okay? Like, that should tell you a lot right there. What's really weird about me, though, is, like, I'll go to bed at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning and not even feel tired in the morning when I wake up for school. But I go to bed at, like, 12 a.m. instead of 3 a.m. and I'm sleep deprived. I don't fucking know what's wrong with me. But, like, I was just deprived today. Okay? And, it just pisses me off that they really think that they should be sending home, like, their fucking work. Like, how about this? At least have the decency to keep your work in the school building. Because the thing about this, homework is still schoolwork, and schoolwork belongs in school, not on my desk at home here. Okay?
My desk at home is for something else entirely, not stupid schoolwork. Now, I'm just gonna say this real quickly. I absolutely hate having to study.
Oh, for sure.
Homework is like awful, but the
it.
thing is, homework isn't the worst thing at my school because we have so much. Like they have so much free time in our school, like in classes that they give us enough time to really finish homework. But studying, oh man, dude, I haven't studied since middle school. Legitimately, like, and it's just so dumb. I hate having to study for exams because, like, you're not really learning the stuff. Like, every time you keep going over, like, the definitions and stuff like that for vocab or whatever, you're not really learning it. You're just memorizing it.
Yeah,
and learning and memorizing are different things.
Yeah, really. And the whole point of school is to learn bullshit, man.
Yeah. Especially when you're not gonna use a lot of stuff like in high school and middle school. I'd say elementary school, you gotta know basic math, you gotta have basic reading skills, and like basic comprehension skills. Like there's stuff like that.
Stuff
but
the key though.
Though I will say this though, when they start mixing the letters and numbers together in math, when they start having like x plus like 2y equals like c, all that crap.
Really quickly, just want to give a direct message to the actual school system by the off chance they might be watching this video. Fuck you for that bullshit, okay? I'm just gonna actually say that right now. I'm doing that right now, and I hate that shit, okay? I straight up hate
But here's the
that
thing,
shit.
though. But here's the thing I will say, though. There actually are a good amount of places you actually use it in real life. And I'm not even talking like a job. So I'll give you an example right now. Okay, so the whole letters and numbers thing together. So here's the situation. So I'm at the gas station, and like my car needs like, let's say 2 gallons of gas, and the price is like for gas is like, let's say $4 for a gallon, but I only have like, and so it'd be like $8 for like the 2 gallons to have like full gasoline. But I don't have $8. I only have $6. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna get like 1.5 gallons of gas.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
Interesting. But
That's how you use letters and
tell me
numbers
this,
in real
though.
life. Because the letters that spell out the word gas, and then the numbers for the prices. Oh, God. I don't think you didn't get it, but yeah,
I got it.
don't.
Yep, I got that pretty good.
Good. But yeah, it's stupid that they
Damn
make us
it.
do that stuff. That stuff is so useless. But I hate studying, simply put. But I'll let Nerfmaster continue the rant, and then I'll rant. Don't make it too
I'm
long,
just
though.
ranting now. Okay,
Don't make it too long,
this
though.
is something that I've said about math class before. Notice how I have a very big hatred for math class. Yeah, I have a fucking hate boner for math class. Honestly, God, man, there is no class in my opinion that is worse than math. Apart from
Science is
maybe
stupid.
biology. Maybe biology, okay? Maybe. But that's a really big maybe compared to math. Because, well, yes, science, it's alright, I guess.
I don't like
Math is a lot more
science.
useless math is a lot more useless to me specifically than fucking science is.
Okay, here's what I'll say. I'm not good at science, and I don't like science, but I'm better at math, but I hate math. Well, I dread science more,
Sorry.
but I think math is way more stupid.
Yeah. But this is something that I've actually ranted about on my series before. And that was the fact that they teach you the same things every year.
Oh
They teach
yeah.
they repeat the lessons every year. It's like, teach me something new so I'm not smashing my face on my desk waiting for something to be new. Like, please. If you're gonna make math class a required subject for 12 goddamn years, I expect something new. But no, they don't even have the decency to give us something new. Holy shit, something new every year for 12 years. It's like, and the things that they'll reteach you are the most useless things of those years. They're not the useful things. No, they're the useless things.
They don't really
And
ever teach
I'm
you about
specifically
doing sales
referring to
tax.
exactly, but they don't. The thing I'm specifically referring to here is algebraic math.
Oh,
Basic
definitely.
math is a necessity for life. Like, be honest here. You're gonna need to know how to add, subtract, divide, and multiply your money. And trust me, that'll come in later on in your life. But for right now, algebraic math is complete horseshit. You should not have that as a required subject, okay? There's nothing wrong with having a class on algebraic math, far from it. But whenever you go and make it a required subject, that's when there's a problem. Because it's a useless class to be mandatory. How about you make career exploration mandatory as well as a major subject? No, that's an elective. You gotta take algebra. Fuck off, man. Like, there's straight up a career exploration class in our school, but it's an elective class that you're not even required to pass. It's so flawed. And these COVID restrictions are getting on my nerves. Like, just gonna say that right now. The COVID restrictions in the schools, they're pissing me off, man. They're really pissing me off.
Oh yeah. Every time I hear a teacher just say like, "Wear the mask," dude, I just get so angry on the inside. And that's saying something when I'm already so angry.
Like, dude, listen to this, dude. Like, so the principal recently announced that the masks are gonna be staying until the end of this year. And he said, and I quote, "If you're not comfortable wearing the masks, well, you've worn them for X amount of the year now." How do you consider this, though? The whole time during this year, the reason we've even been wearing these masks for you is because we're putting up with it until you remove them. Because we're expecting them to be removed by the end of this year, but then you're going to announce that, no, they're not ending this year. So why should we even be wearing them for you now? If you're announcing that we're not getting what we're expecting.
I hate wearing masks during school. It is so annoying because it just screws with my glasses. And I'll just tell you right now, my glasses ain't clean. Dude, my glasses are dirty. And when you mix that with fog, oh, it's awful. I have to literally take my glasses off and be blurry-eyed just to make it through, because that's more tolerable. I hate wearing a mask. It also screws with the way I talk.
Yeah.
So when I start moving my lips and my jaw,
think about this, though.
It just screws with what?
Like, remember, this is a descendant of the flu, right? So what they'll tell you to do for the flu is to wash your hands. Guess what they're not enforcing? Hand washing. They don't enforce hand washing. No, that's optional. But the mask that's doing pretty much nothing, yeah, wear that.
Yeah, even though, like, stuff can still get in there. And even so, you can get it through touch.
Yeah, like, dude. Exactly.
Like, I guess you're limiting one of the things.
Are so ineffective. Especially, like, that's why they tell you to wash those hands, because you get it through touch. But no, they don't enforce that, but they enforce the thing that's not going to work nearly as good as that.
Seriously, like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. And it's so annoying. Like, sometimes we have, like, just freaking, and, like, and we have to stay in our seats. We can't go to other people's seats, like other areas, because of, like we have to stay by our seats. Dude, it makes school feel even more like prison. But I'll get into that rant once you wrap up.
Like, dude, and also, not to mention, like, this whole quarantine thing. Remember, I was quarantined because I sit next to a girl that was tested positive for COVID. Are you really mean to tell me that you did that? Like, this is just a conspiracy, honestly. But, is the school basically saying that their masks don't work by doing that? Because I was wearing a mask while I was there. I mean, I get it's a precaution and everything, but still, it sounded to me a bit like you're saying the masks don't work, school district.
It's stupid. Like, and that's probably, and I bet touch is probably the way the, like, 3 people at my school got COVID as well, or were at least exposed to it. They probably got it through touch.
Yeah.
But they ain't doing anything about that at all. Like, I mean, yeah, we wipe down the desks and chairs, like, that's gonna make much of a difference.
Bro, my school don't even wipe down the chairs.
Wow.
Shame.
Just shameful. Well, but yeah, that's pretty much that. But yeah, I'd say wrap up and then I'm gonna do my own rant.
Alright, I'm wrapped up already, dude.
Alright, well, I'm gonna whine to you guys about why school is goddamn prison! Okay, so, you already said this before about how school starts so effing early. I hate that. I hate that I have to get up so early for school. And I have a great example for this. Just this morning, it took the whole night to get cozy in my bed. And the moment I finally get cozy in my bed, I'm finally at just the right temperature. I just feel so comfortable. Is the moment I have to wake up. Like, just think about that. I literally just stay uncomfortable the whole goddamn night. I mean, I wasn't super uncomfortable or anything, but I was still not comfortable. And it's just like, that's so mean. And I don't like it at all. And then, like, the school days are just so damn long. So we first of all have to stay in our seats, like I said before, which makes it feel like we're being chained to our jail cells. Also, if you don't have and here's a good thing I want to rant on about, which is probably one of the biggest things I have about school. If you don't have friends, high school is the worst thing ever. And I am a victim of this. I don't have many friends in high school. In fact, I think in every single class I have, yeah, every single class I have, there's not even one kid I really talk to much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fully honest, Nerf Master. The way you've seen me in like party chats and like VCs and like stuff like that is nothing like how I am during school. If you were to see me during school, you'd think I was a different person because I'm quiet. I don't really bother anybody. Because the thing is, my humor is not really school appropriate, and that's another thing I want to talk about. They basically make it so that way, like we can't really have much of a social life because people, for all I know, assume that I'm just crazy because I'm quiet all the time. And I mean, I wouldn't really care about that much at all. A small friend group where I can just laugh and like bull crap and just have fun and whatnot, like that makes school at least a little more tolerable. But no, I don't have that action. I just keep my head down and just have to do goddamn work and do what the teachers say all the damn time.
Oh my god.
But that's the social aspect. I hate that so much. It's so annoying because it just makes me really down. It just makes me feel like I have people online I can talk to, but when I'm in real life at school, I've got nothing. And since I have to go to school all the goddamn time, it's just a constant reminder that I don't have friends in school.
Yeah.
So, great way to set in my depression and anger. Does not make me a better person, by the way. But then, oh my god, lunch. So, lunch is the one time of the day, if you don't include mask breaks, which we never get, where you can take your mask off to eat your food. But once you're done eating your food, you have to have your mask back on. The stupidest thing I've ever seen. We have our masks off anyways to eat our food. Why do we have to put it back on? I hate wearing the mask anyways, so why? It's so stupid because it's like, well, it just makes no sense. It pisses me off a lot because I hate wearing the masks a lot. I think they're very stupid because how about wash your hands, or if people are actually getting COVID, freaking quarantine. But no, they get too desperate instead. And you can't go around the lunchroom either. Like when you choose a seat, that's the place you sit for the whole rest of the year, basically.
Pretty much what my school did too.
So in other words, you're gonna be in your jail. You're gonna be in your jail cell. And the school food, oh my lord, I have to get a la carte so I can get any sugar in my body. It's just dude. The food they feed us in school, that pizza they serve you. I've never tasted some whacker stuff. It's just awful. Oh yeah, also something
decent.
I mean, sometimes they have decent stuff, but the hamburgers, bro, that stuff tastes like wet sponges, man. Like, that's why it tastes like SpongeBob. But and on a related note about food, now that we have our masks on, you can't eat or drink during like classes. You can't really eat or drink like during passing time or during classes. So it's like in my marketing class, which is the class I have before lunch, I'm starving. And I'm talking like every day this is happening, where like halfway through marketing, I just am starving because I'm just so hungry. And I end up having so little in school that I end up getting slight mini headaches sometimes.
Yeah.
And giving me a headache is the worst thing you can do. It just makes me even more angry than I already am. So I hate that. And now I have to walk home from school, which is just such a pain. I live 1.5 miles away from the school. It's such a long walk. It's like 30 minutes. I hate it. Now I know what other kids have had to deal with. But yeah, overall though, school is just stupid. I'll be honest, elementary school wasn't the worst ever though, because at least then kids actually didn't mind talking to me. Middle school was a goddamn zoo. Middle school was just awful. Just awful. That place was a zoo. And high school, while it had better stuff, like while kids definitely did get their act together more, it just feels like there's stuff that's even worse. Like if you don't have friends, then then middle school's or high school's gonna just be lame. It's just gonna be boring. And I'm telling you right now, once I get to graduation, I'll probably be there for like a few minutes and chill with like some of the few homies I have been friends with. Like I have friends in school. It's just that they aren't in my classes or my lunch at all. That's the problem. Just to clarify. Like I might just chill with some of my homies and then I'm just gonna leave if no one else talks to me at all. Like screw them.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much my rant on school. I wanted to include this in the podcast because I felt like while the school stories are definitely great, I also want to touch on like why school's stupid. And neither of us like school, so yeah. But I think that's all we're going to do for this podcast. So thank you all so much for watching. Nerfmaster, thank you so much for contributing to this episode. And where can the fine people find you at?
They can find me at Nerfmaster one. Jesus Christ. They can find me at Jesus Christ. Yes. No, they can find me at Nerfmaster 111 Lamborghini.
Yeah, the link will be in the description. The link is in the description already. So go to the link in the description, check his channel out, and subscribe to me once you've subscribed to his channel if you haven't already. And this is a good episode, don't you think?
Yeah.
It felt really good ranting about a lot of the stuff because I haven't actually really ever done a rant on this stuff before. So it felt really good to do some ranting like that, but yeah, so again, thank you Nerfmaster for being my co-host and contributing, and with that being said, this is NCSO7 signing out. Peace!
Peace, mate.